Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 and hello fellows, HeroGon here. Today is Thursday, August 17th of 2023. It is now 7:28 p.m. Eastern Time, and so far things have been going a pretty decent week. As far as I know, just last week was Bionicle Day. And for those of you that don't know, Bionicle is probably one of my favorite LEGO franchises of all time. I grew up on Bionicle as a kid. I even had a lot of the LEGO toys for Bionicle, such as most of the Glatorian line and a lot of the Glatorian Legends line. So, if anyone wants to know more about Bionicle Day, I'd suggest looking up and checking for yourself what that's all about. Anyways, this week for Sean the Bros tutorial, this Funlog Friday / Showcase Saturday, we have ourselves hosting online sessions, which is part 185 of how to make your own fighting game. So yeah, we have gotten way far in. Just 15 parts left until one could get to, until Sean the Bro, the particular person that created this video, gets to the fabled 200 of his fighting game series. So yeah, now for those that want to know, hosting online sessions is a bit more complex than I can easily figure out or summarize. With regards to Sean the Bro's own description here, he goes over hosting online sessions, determining error or success when hosting matches, and using Unreal's own default online subsystem. Now, whenever we use the online button and go to host, you'll soon see in the log temp that a session has been created, and if we try to press it a second time, then we'll end up spitting out something of a different message. For instance, saying a session has failed to be created because, well, we already have ourselves a session created. Now first, there's a few spots to go over, particularly test edit and the C++ code. With the project.build.cs file, I've added a new string called online subsystem and online subsystem utils. These two are needed in particular so we can make use of whatever online stuff Unreal Engine has. And going into the Xcode itself, we just have base game instance. In particular, a new function that allows us to host an online session. This function is blueprint callable and is called host session, obviously. With the base game instance.cpp or source file, we have ourselves 3 new includes that are necessary for most online content. Online subsystem.h, online session settings, and interfaces / online session interface.h. Easy enough. Going further down, we have our host session function here. If you'll excuse me for a moment to take a bit of a drink, I'll explain a bit of the parts here in summary. So if our iOnline subsystem online subsystem equals I online subsystem get. We have another if statement where we get our session interface, and we have ourselves a whole lot of session settings that we can make shareable. And these session settings range from allowing invites, allowing to join in progress, joining via presence, for friends only as well, if it's a dedicated server, if it uses presence, which is true, is a LAN-based match, and should advertise with our non-private connections and non-public connections. Granted, it is a lot more complex, so yeah, still trying to figure out this stuff right here. And we get our first local player from controller, constant local player, your pointer, local player equals get world. Get our first local player from controller. If the online session interface has created a session, then we end up putting this UE log saying a session has been created if there isn't any sort of session created before then. We have the variables of local player get preferred unique net ID, fname, and session settings. So yeah, if however we have created the session already, any other sessions that are trying to be made after that will fail to create currently. And that's pretty much it for the C++ source code side of things, so let's go into the fight screen part. There's a few new spots here with regards to the online button. We have ourselves host and join, which appear when we press the online button. And of course, if our submenu is not open, and that's false, we're on integer 0 of the confirmed P1 selection, we host session if we're on the submenu. If not, 0 does nothing. And of course, we have our going from the online into here is easy enough. We have, if our confirmed P1 selection is around 2 right here, we set the visibility of our host button and join button, play animation, set our is submenu open to be true, set current P1 selection to 0, and move selection border selection to 0. And this will only happen if our submenu is not open. If that's true, then we do all this logic seen here. And that is pretty much the basics on the stuff there. So far for things, we won't be going into the gameplay part. I will just be showing the online thing. So if you will see right here, then once I press for here or my confirm button, we got host, then we press it again, and it says a session has been created in the output log. It's very important to check if you end up wanting to create the same thing yourself. And if you do want to create this framework, I'd suggest going through all of Sean's videos because I don't think I do this. I don't believe that I'm the exact best teacher here. I'm just a mere guy that's following Sean the Bro's videos. So yeah. Anyways, back to the pressing the host button. If we try to press it again, you will see that it cannot create session my game session because the session already exists. Should make sense, right? And of course, we get ourselves the log temp warning: a session has failed to be created. And no matter how many times I try, a session will fail to create. So going back in, and you will eventually see that even if we do this again, it won't go to creating the session because the session already exists. The only way that you could get the game session has been created is by exiting out of the Unreal editor, which I won't be doing for this video. And that is pretty much it. And before we go, I would like to show off some progress with my character model currently. With regards to this character here, I've been hard at work figuring out some of the modularity behind my character. Currently, I've been trying to get some kind of long shirt prepared, but I've needed to make some new extra bones here. In particular, these are the skirt bones, as I like to call them. And they essentially control the, well, skirt bones. If you have a long shirt or dress or some small little skirt type of thing, granted, this model is just a longer segment of a shirt, then yeah. And of course, it does slightly work with the rig, the control rig itself here. I'll go into the non-material mode to show what I mean. So far, some of the bones have not been weight painted yet, because weight painting takes a bit of time to get right. It's very important to get that. And if you see right here, my skirt is slightly deforming on that front part. And so yeah, that's good enough. And if I can find another bone around here to show off. And so far, I have not weight painted each and every single one of the skirt bones entirely yet. So yeah, this is about the best I've got. And in case you're wondering if it works for the most part with the hips, it kind of does. You see right here, nice swaying of the hips side to side in a bit of an odd manner. I mean, I haven't seen someone move their hips way out to the side like that, but oh well, it's a stylized character, meant to be more cartoonish than the hyper-realism. And if anyone, I mean anyone, tries to compare this to the hyper-realism that The Last of Us and, I don't know, the God of War reboot are doing, I'd suggest you be really careful. And for those wondering, and for those curious, it's been a bit of a wild ride with regards to this whole little mesh here. Still trying to get everything right. And so far, it seems decent enough with all of this stuff. And the reason why exactly I'm trying to have the parts segmented in a way is because with customization in games, you sometimes have to hide certain things. For instance, the shirt itself is in fact a torso part. Feel right there. This particular torso can be toggled on and off to be hidden, so that's a bit of a plus if anyone's wanting to get into modular characters. But of course, this is the best I'm going to leave you with. Credit again goes to Sean the Bro for all of his tutorials. And thank you for sticking by me for this long. I do apologize if it gets a little long in the tooth for these videos, but I've been doing them unscripted ever since I started, so yeah. Anyways, with all that being said, I've been HeroGon, you've been you, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time for the next Funlog Friday / Showcase Saturday the next time around. Thank you for tuning in, but for now, I will be seeing you guys real later. Goodbye, everyone, and have a hero-tastic day.